Kate Middleton just made history at the French state banquet. And no, it wasn't just because she looked absolutely radiant in that show-stopping red gown. She wore something so exclusive, so coveted, that it's literally worth more than your house. And before you ask, no, it's not a tiara. It's something far more secretive, far more meaningful, and frankly, far more dramatic than any sparkly headpiece. What am I talking about? The Royal Family Order of King Charles III. A tiny portrait that packs more punch than a royal scandal. Stick around because this rabbit hole goes deeper than you think. Welcome back to Royal Cookies, where we serve up the juiciest royal gossip with a side of heart-wrenching humanity. Please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal? It's just a little picture. Oh, sweet summer child, you couldn't be more wrong. This wasn't just any accessory. This was Kate's first time wearing King Charles's personal order. The very same order that's been so exclusive, so carefully guarded, that until recently, only Queen Camilla had been spotted wearing it. The banquet was already historic, Kate's first tiara appearance since 2023, her first state banquet since her cancer diagnosis, and Emmanuel Macron giving her cheeky winks across the dinner table like they were old mates at a pub quiz. But this little detail? This changed everything. Right, let's get one thing straight. The Royal Family Order isn't some participation trophy you get for showing up to enough garden parties. This is serious business, steeped in tradition that goes back to King George IV in the early 19th century. Think of it as the royal equivalent of a company pin. Except the company is the British monarchy and the pin is a hand-painted miniature portrait of the king surrounded by diamonds. Because obviously, here's how it works. Each monarch creates their own version early in their reign. It's like their personal brand, but instead of a logo, it's their face painted in exquisite detail on a ribbon of their chosen color. Queen Elizabeth II went for yellow silk, classic, cheerful, very her. King Charles? He chose pale blue, apparently channeling his great-grandfather King George V. Because when you're king, even your ribbon choices are calculated nods to family history. But here's where it gets fascinating. These aren't just random portraits shrunk down to fit on a brooch. Oh no, that would be far too pedestrian for the royals. These are created by specialist miniature portrait artists who treat each tiny painting like it's destined for the National Gallery. We're talking about artists who can capture the essence of a monarch in a space smaller than a postage stamp. For Charles's order, he chose Elizabeth Meek, former president of the Royal Society of Miniature Painters. Yes, that's a real thing, and yes, it's exactly as niche and brilliant as it sounds. This woman has been painting miniatures since before Instagram existed, and her portrait of Charles measures approximately 1.57 inches by 1.18 inches. That's smaller than a quality street chocolate, but probably worth more than your car. The whole thing is mounted on an oval frame, surrounded by diamonds, because apparently regular frames are for commoners. And here's the kicker. These orders are only given to senior women of the royal family in recognition of their service to the monarch. It's like getting a gold watch for 25 years of service, except the watch is a tiny painted portrait of your father-in-law's face covered in diamonds. Let me paint you a picture of just how exclusive this club is. When Queen Camilla first wore Charles's order at the Japanese state banquet in 2024, she was literally the only woman at the entire event wearing it. The only one. It was like being the only person at a party with the latest iPhone, except instead of tech envy, we're talking about royal recognition. Now, the thing about royal family orders is that you can collect them like Pokemon cards. but infinitely more prestigious. Camilla, being the seasoned royal she is, wore both Charles's Order and Queen Elizabeth II Order, which she received back in 2007 at the same event. It's like having a display case of your achievements, except the case is your formal wear and the achievements are tiny painted faces of monarchs. But here's what makes Kate's moment so significant. She's only the second woman to receive Charles's Order. The second. In a family where titles are handed out like business cards at a networking event. This level of exclusivity is absolutely extraordinary. It's rarer than a royal without a scandal, and that's saying something. The timing is also deliciously perfect. Kate has been through absolute hell this past year with her cancer diagnosis, stepping back from public duties, and having to rebuild her strength. For Charles to bestow this honor on her now? It's not just recognition, it's a statement. It's saying, you're back, you're valued, and you're essential to this family's future. And let's not forget the symbolism of her wearing it at the French state banquet. France and Britain have a relationship that's complicated enough to warrant its own Netflix series. And here's Kate, wearing the King's personal order while charming President Macron. It's soft diplomacy at its finest, wrapped in diamonds and tradition. Now, let's talk about what this really means, because in royal circles, nothing, and I mean nothing, is ever just coincidental. The royal family order isn't just jewelry. It's a political statement, a family endorsement, and a promise all rolled into one tiny, diamond-encrusted package. First off, the color choice. Charles went with pale blue, deliberately echoing his great-grandfather King George V. George V was the king who transformed the monarchy during World War I, changing the family name from the very German-sounding Saxe-Coburg-Gotha to the thoroughly British Windsor. Sound familiar? Charles is doing his own transformation, modernizing the monarchy while respecting tradition. The pale blue also happens to be the color of the Order of the Garter, the oldest order of chivalry in Britain. Subtle? About as subtle as a royal wave from a golden carriage. Charles is connecting his personal order to centuries of British honors and traditions. If you're obsessed with royal strategy and environmental impact like I am, make sure you're subscribed to Royal Cookies because we're serving up the most sustainable royal content on YouTube. And remember, in a world full of fast fashion and royal scandals, sometimes the most revolutionary thing you can do is wear your values on your sleeve, preferably in a gorgeous shade of green. Sophie's proving that environmental activism isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. Until next time, keep munching on those eco-friendly royal cookies.